I think more people should just openly say, I hate pregnancy. It has been way too long. I am officially 36 weeks pregnant and 3 days, so just 4 more days until I'm safely able to go into labor. And honestly, I do have to say I'm so disappointed in myself for the amount of content I've put out, especially on YouTube. When I first got pregnant, I was so excited thinking I would have all this content to make, specifically because when I was pregnant with my first at 19 and with my second at 21, I loved watching YouTube videos on pregnancy. I found them so encouraging, I found them so relatable, and just answering a lot of the questions I had because I wanted to hear stories, especially from other young moms, and I didn't know a lot of other young moms. I didn't know a lot of other 19-year-old moms. Didn't have a lot of them in my life. So it was so fun for me to be able to relate to these women on YouTube. There's a lot of cuts in this video. It's because I am running out of breath so quickly right now. But all that to say, I was just so excited to make content that I thought could be relatable and helpful to other young moms out there. And unfortunately, this is one out of maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 videos that I've made throughout my entire pregnancy. So for today, I really wanted to focus on my 3rd trimester and kind of do a 3rd trimester recap because I don't think I've been on YouTube since my 2nd trimester. And part of that is that I have been really tired. And I'll kind of go over some of the things I've been busy with. We've been super busy. I've also been posting a lot more on the app Lemonade. I post all the time on Lemonade, and it's much easier to post over there because I can post a photo and use my words instead of trying to make a video. And videos really can be kind of time consuming, and also putting myself out there when I'm really not at a stage in my life where I feel very confident in my looks. It can help. It can really help because not only am I not really confident in my looks right now, but it's really hard for me even to get out of bed, get dressed, put on underwear, put on makeup, brush my hair even. Like most days I'm just lying in bed and I look a complete wreck, and that has been my experience with all of my pregnancies. Pregnancy for me is really hard, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like more people just need to say this. I think more people should just openly say, I hate pregnancy. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't have an easy pregnancy. I think especially in this day and age, a lot of Christian women feel pressured to not say things like that because they feel like that might shed children in a bad light. But I think it's really good to just be able to openly say, I don't like pregnancy. It's not enjoyable. It's actually really, really difficult. But I love it. I love that I'm bringing life into this world. I love my children. I love my family, and it's so worth it. Pregnancy is hard. I don't like pregnancy. I don't enjoy pregnancy. I don't get pregnant to be pregnant. I don't enjoy this stage of life. But it does go by quickly, especially I've learned the more kids you have, it goes by more quickly. And I just love our family. Hopefully I will be giving birth soon here. I really like to go somewhere in between 37 and 38 weeks. That's when I had both of my boys. I've kind of naturally induced myself both times, so kind of hoping to do that again. We will see. I'm also just putting things and leaving things up to the Lord. With Hank, I was trying to naturally induce myself, and I was actually just failing so miserably. And I remember finally just getting to my breaking point and just sobbing my eyes out for probably 3 hours straight, praying to God and asking him to please let me just have this baby and go into labor. And the next morning I woke up, my water broke, and I went into labor. So I'm really remembering that and just trying to remind myself that it's all in God's timing, and as impatient as I am, the baby will come when he is ready and when he is most healthy. And that's really the most important part, as much as I would like the baby to be here. That being said, I do think I have pretty good chances of the baby coming around 37 weeks because even though I'm technically 37 weeks in 4 days, I might actually be a little further along than I originally said I was. And that's because I got pregnant just a couple weeks after my last miscarriage. If you guys didn't know, I had 2 miscarriages. I think both of them were in the year 2023. And then I got pregnant a couple weeks after my 2nd miscarriage. And so because of that, since I didn't have a period to date my due date with, I kind of gave it a couple extra weeks. I don't know why I did it at the time. I think because I didn't want to think I was 37 weeks and be only 35 weeks. But all that to say, I might actually be closer to 39 weeks once we think I'm 37 weeks. So if that makes sense, I'm kind of hoping that's the case because that means baby will be a little further along, maybe a little healthier, a little chubbier. I did have kind of small and skinny babies, but then again, it was kind of nice because they were kind of easy to push out. So we'll see how it goes. I know different people say, you know, size of the baby doesn't really make a difference. Honestly, the beginning of my third trimester, I probably had the most energy and felt my best out of my entire pregnancy. Now, this is the first pregnancy where I have had a big belly, and I'm going to try to include some pictures somewhere on the screen showing you guys this pregnancy versus my first and second pregnancy. I don't have a whole lot of pictures from my first and second pregnancy, but my belly was tiny with those pregnancies. And this time around, I've been huge. And I've never experienced, and I've loved being huge, by the way. Like, I've loved having a huge belly. I've always been someone who has put on a lot of weight. And that's always been hard on me and hard on my confidence. I don't like being a super curvy girl, or how the nice way to call it, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I don't care for it aesthetically. Thankfully, my husband does not mind it at all. He would prefer me with more weight than less. I'm the opposite. I prefer myself with less weight than more, and that's probably totally diet culture and, you know, brainwashing and all those terrible things. But that's just how it is. And so regardless, I don't feel my most confident when I gain a lot of weight. So something I've actually really loved about this pregnancy is the fact that I have had a big belly, because it actually makes me feel more confident versus my last couple pregnancies when my stomach stayed so small and I gained so much weight. It was harder on me mentally versus this time having a big belly and gaining more weight. There was more of this mindset switch within myself of like, well, I'm just pregnant. I don't know if that makes sense. It probably doesn't. But maybe some of you guys get it. So I have really enjoyed some aspects of having a bigger belly, but some aspects I have not enjoyed as much, such as having a much harder time breathing, having a lot more pain. So actually with my last couple pregnancies, I had a lot of back pain. And this pregnancy, I haven't really dealt with any back pain, but I think part of that is the fact that I've been taking my magnesium supplement really consistently, and I've been taking this great magnesium supplement. I will add it to the description box down below. It's not a sponsorship, or I'm not getting paid from it whatsoever, but I will include a link, because this magnesium that I've been taking, not only has it helped my pain, my back pain, muscle aches, it has also really helped me sleep at night. And with my last two pregnancies, I had so much insomnia. It was awful. It was one of the worst symptoms of pregnancy, but this time around, I've been able to sleep through the night like a rock for the most part my entire pregnancy, which has been amazing. I also haven't had any headaches or migraines this entire pregnancy, which that is another complete difference from my last two pregnancies, because my last two pregnancies I had headache after headache after migraine after migraine. Something that I have really loved about this pregnancy is that my skin has been amazing. I did throw on just a little bit of, it kind of looks like I have a bruise right there. It's just the lighting, I swear. So I did throw on some Araza Beauty makeup. I will include a link for that in the description box below. That one is an affiliate link, just for full honesty. But I just wanted to say I did throw on like a little powder. So I threw on a little powder and a powder blush, but you can really tell from my face, or hopefully you can tell, that I have had amazing skin this entire pregnancy. Like, not one single pimple or blemish throughout the entire pregnancy. That has been really great. And I think part of it has been just that my hormones have been in balance, and that I've been taking good vitamins. I've been eating pretty good food, honestly. Again, I gain a lot of weight in my pregnancies. Genetically, I'm set up to be this way. And some people might think, well, you're probably just eating terribly, or it's all those pregnancy cravings. But honestly, I've eaten really healthy all of my pregnancies. I've tried to stay really active all of my pregnancies, and I've always just gained a lot of weight. So after I had my second son, I was not in a good place mentally when it came to weight gain or body image, and I was trying to get over an eating disorder. I had struggled with several eating disorders in my life. So I ended up throwing away our scale, and I promised myself I would never buy a scale again. Now, my husband has been going through his own fitness journey the last couple years. He's been working out really consistently, and recently he's went on like a cut, so he's like losing some weight to see his muscle definition better, and he wanted a scale. And so I bought him a scale, and I realized, honestly, I don't think it would bother me to weigh myself. So I went ahead and weighed myself. Honestly, didn't bother me, which is great. But I have gained about 55 pounds at this point in my pregnancy. And honestly, I'm expecting myself to be probably about the 60-pound mark before I have the baby. And that's okay. I don't really remember where I was going with this. Honestly, I feel like I'm so scatterbrained, and that's definitely a symptom of pregnancy that has not changed from the last 2 pregnancies where I've just had the most terrible baby brain. If you hear baby brain, I used to think that was just kind of a funny phrase used for pregnant women to give them like a pass. But your brain actually literally shrinks when you are pregnant. So pregnancy brain is a real thing. Your brain shrinks, you literally get dumber. I don't know why or what the purpose of this is. I feel like we need our wits about us when we're pregnant. So it doesn't really feel fair. The opposite happens. But regardless, at least I have an actual legitimate scientific proof of why I'm so dumb. Which the rest of my life, I don't have anything to excuse my, so at least I have that excuse during pregnancy. So as I was saying, beginning of 3rd trimester honestly felt probably my best out of this entire pregnancy. And I feel like this pregnancy, my life has kind of consisted of 2 things: trying to get the boys out of the house as much as possible, which has been a struggle, and cleaning the house, which has been a struggle. And this is just because I am very debilitated. I feel like I've been speaking very positively of this pregnancy in this video so far, and I don't mean to, because it has not been a positive experience overall. I will say it has been my most positive pregnancy out of all of my other ones, but I think a big part of this is because I really prepared my mind for what was to come. And I've also just been in the healthiest mental space when it comes to everything in my life. So I was really just prepared for the weight gain. I was prepared for the morning sickness. I was prepared for the aches and pains that were going to come. And in some ways, my pregnancy has been easier. In some aspects, it's been easier, but in some ways, it's been more difficult, especially just the fact that we just moved to Tallahassee, Florida, when I was 6 weeks pregnant. So we moved to Florida from Illinois 2 years ago. So we lost almost all of our friends and family, except for one of my sisters moved with us and lived with us for a year. But then we moved from Tampa, Florida to Tallahassee, Florida. So we moved here when I was 6 weeks pregnant, right when my morning sickness started up. And so we're out here alone. We don't have anyone. We didn't go to church for a really long time because of how awful my morning sickness was. I literally couldn't leave the bed. So because of that, I haven't had a whole lot of support. And so my husband has been my support. He's been my biggest supporter, and I'm so thankful for him. I'm so thankful for everything he does for me and the kids, because he does a lot. And I've really tried to pitch in when and where I can. I've tried to pitch in whenever my energy is good enough. So the beginning of 3rd trimester, I was actually able to do that. I was actually able to do some meal prepping. I made tons and tons of freezer meals. Our freezer is completely stocked with chili, Caesar chicken. I think we have some marinated chicken, just some different recipes, different meals prepped in there, some lasagna. And then I also did a lot of shopping at Costco and just really did a lot of stocking up in the freezer. And also just tried to do a lot of deep cleaning. So I was really able to get a lot of deep cleaning done during the beginning of the 3rd trimester, which was great. But unfortunately, what ended up happening was in the midst of that nesting phase that I've never had before. I've never had a nesting phase before in any of my other pregnancies, but it hit me so hard this time around, and I had good energy and I was excited to clean the house and get it prepped for baby. So I was doing it all. I was, washing the windows and washing the baseboards and like getting every little nook and cranny clean. But unfortunately, what ended up happening is I've just had some really bad pelvis pain, hip pain, and a lot of ligament pain. Actually, my worst pain this time around has been ligament pain, and I've never experienced any of those 3 symptoms with my last couple babies. I don't remember ever having ligament pain before. In fact, I thought something was wrong with me this time around, and my midwife told me, no, you just get worse ligament pain with every baby. Your body just loosens up more every time. It knows what to do. It knows it needs to expand, which is great, but then it also ends up leaving you in more pain. So because of that, that has really restricted my movement, restricted me from bending over. Thankfully, my toddlers have learned to become more and more helpful. That is something that I've really worked on and continue to work on. My oldest will be 5 in a few months here, and my youngest just turned 3 the month of January. I don't share exact birthdays, but I'll give kind of a rough estimate of, when that stuff happens. So they have been able to help me with some cleaning, but it just takes more time. And most of the time, like I said at the beginning of the video, I barely have the energy to even get out of bed, let alone film, let alone clean the house or do anything. And I would say this past month has been the roughest month of the third trimester for sure. I've been in bed a lot. I've had really low energy. I've been extremely tired. I've had a few sleepless nights, which then led to me being extremely tired during the daytime. And when I do get out of bed, it's usually just to try to clean up the kitchen or possibly go to the park. We have made a couple really good friends since moving to Tallahassee, which is a miracle considering I've been at home or in bed most of the time. But as I did mention, I have tried to get out of the house with my kids as much as possible. And that's not very much, unfortunately. Before pregnancy, I got out of the house with the kids almost every single day. We were going to the beach, going to the park, meeting up with friends, going to church, doing all these things, which we have started going to church again after the morning sickness went away. But the last few weeks, I have not been going to church. My husband has just been bringing the kids because, again, I'm not in the right shape to be able to sit through church. The last couple weeks I went, I was in so much pain the whole time. We just decided it wasn't a good idea for me anymore, and I'll just stream it from home. And I just want to say that I have shared pretty openly my experience with pregnancy on different social media apps. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, TikTok, Lemonade, Facebook, I've got all the links down below. And a couple questions I've gotten from different people is it worth it? And this is something that I really try to talk about every time I talk about the hardships of pregnancy, is that it's absolutely worth it. If it wasn't worth it, I wouldn't be doing it again for a third time. And I also want to be really transparent that not only is pregnancy not something I don't enjoy, it's something I don't enjoy, but it's so worth it. And also I'm not living my life for myself. As a Christian mother and wife, woman, I have a greater calling, I have a greater purpose, and that is to serve the kingdom of God. And that doesn't mean that having children is the only way I can do it, but it is one of the ways. And the Bible says so many times that children are a blessing, and my husband and I really leaned on that when we got pregnant for the first time, because we were not expecting it and we were not excited, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Our culture really got to our heads. Our culture says that children are the opposite of a blessing, that there's a curse, that they're just something that you have to raise and take care of, and everyone who has them are miserable, and the opposite couldn't be further from the truth. Just wanted to finish up by saying children absolutely are a blessing. Our children have been such a blessing to us. We have two boys here on earth, Jacob and Hank, and we have 2 babies in heaven, and we're so excited to meet this third one. Truly, children are such a blessing, and although I don't enjoy the pregnancy stage, I do enjoy my family. I love my kids. They are so worth it, and 9 months of discomfort is such a little amount of time compared to the years and years and years that you get to spend with your children. Not only the 18 summers that they'll be living under your own roof, but for the rest of their lives. And honestly, I, for one, am so excited to meet my grandkids someday and help take care of them and spend time around with them. My husband and I are just so excited for our family, for our future. We love the family that God has given us, and we know that it has definitely been our calling to have the children that we've had so far. Will there be more in the future? I don't know. I get a lot of questions about this, and I don't know, but that's not for us to decide or say. That's up to the Lord, and I know He will lead us in what we should do, and He will show us what His plan is for our family and for our lives, as He has done for the past 6 years that my husband and I have been married. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it might have been kind of all over the place and sporadic, but I did want to answer or just kind of give a third trimester recap and let you guys know how it's been. Honestly, overall, it has been my easiest pregnancy and my easiest third trimester, just because I think having the 2 boys has really helped it go by so much faster since I'm so busy with them all the time. And also, this is definitely the most supportive that my husband has ever been. I've talked to other moms and other wives, and they all say the same thing. Every time you have a baby, every time you go through another pregnancy, your husband just becomes even more attentive, even more caring, even more just taking over tasks and duties, because they just realize over time how much you're doing and how much you have on your plate, and that you need that help and support. And so he's definitely been such a huge help and such a huge support, coming home every day after long hours at work to clean the house, cook dinner, get the kids ready for bed, take care of me, give me foot rubs, make sure that I'm getting the emotional attention and care that I need. So this pregnancy, although it has definitely had its difficult moments, has also just had really sweet moments of feeling so loved and cared for by my husband, which helps our marriage grow so much stronger. I'm not gonna cry. It's so sweet and special. So So I'm just so grateful for that and really just so excited that we are getting close to the end of this pregnancy. We're getting close to meeting this little guy. We still haven't officially picked out a name for him. We're waiting for him to get here before we do that. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see his face for the first time. I'm honestly excited to go through the birth experience once again. We will be doing a home birth for the very first time. It's going to be my first natural birth. I got an epidural with both of my boys. So that's going to be a whole new journey, a whole new exciting thing. I'm definitely going to have to film a birth story for you guys after he comes and just let you know how it went, how my first home birth went, how my first pain-free birth went. I've been reading all the books. I've been watching all the YouTube videos to prepare myself for it, and I'm really excited. So I hope you guys had fun watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.